Hey, fellow dopamine addicts. My name is Daniel. I'm tired and I'm kind of losing my mind. This isn't scripted, so I'm just going to kind of go off the top of my head and hopefully I'm going to get some message out, something that's been on my mind. I can't go anywhere, it seems, without seeing people on their phones. And I know that you're probably part of the problem, dopamine addict. I'm going to say that a lot probably. I was at the park the other day and just everybody was on their phone at the park. Their kids were off playing at the playgrounds, and the mom or whatever is just on her phone scrolling reels. And that feels like shit. And I know that you've probably seen the exact same thing, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Again, maybe you're part of the problem. And recently, it really feels like things are out of control. People aren't human anymore. People aren't as human as they once were. And I feel like it's all being taken from us on purpose. You know, there's some grand conspiracy. I don't want to get conspiratorial in this video because then this video will be like 3 hours long and it'll be just a bunch of rambling nonsense. But I want to talk about that I'm concerned. I'm worried. I'm worried about myself. I'm worried about my friends. I'm worried about my family. I don't know what's going on. There's been such a strange cultural shift ever since COVID, and this has been talked to death a million times. You've probably seen all of the video essays. You've probably seen all of the nihilist struggle, and maybe you see a couple Hope Core videos. And on YouTube, I feel like there are pretty good videos, like Hope Core videos. There are legitimately good things in the world, and there are good things to look forward to. Crazy statement, right? That shouldn't be a crazy statement though, but we all feel it. And I can't, I mean, at least I can't be the only one in this because I feel drained. Like, go back a year ago and sure, things were bad, things were stressful, but everything up to now has just been one thing after another after another. And once we've hit some crazy event, it's like, oh, well, at least it can't get worse from here. I'm poor. I'm really poor, and you are too. Probably. I don't know. If you're not poor, hey, you want to pay for my college? No, but here's the thing. I've been working at a university early in the morning. I've been doing custodial, real exciting stuff, and it's just I've been getting so much more tired lately. I'm going to bed earlier. You know, I feel like I'm eating a fairly healthy diet. I feel like I'm doing pretty good in those regards. But recently I've just been getting more and more tired. And I'm physically active. I'm healthy. I'm accomplishing things. I feel like, I don't know, but something's different about social media now. And I don't know what it is because I did not feel like this a year ago. And recently, to combat this, because I've kind of pointed a lot of my issues to my use of social media and my excessive consumption of content. And I've started to put limits in. I've started to try to at least watch myself and if I'm going to be consuming content, I try to make sure that it is mindful, like I'm actually doing. But something that's been really heavy on my mind is that what am I doing? What am I doing with my time? What am I doing with my life? What is the point of all of this? Because being on social media, regardless of the platform, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, anything, you're always seeing something negative. You know, you can't help it. That's always there. And even though largely, like generally speaking, I'm not consuming that content, I started to realize that those negative ideas started to creep into my subconscious. And maybe you're better about this. Maybe this doesn't affect you like it affects me. But I've started to notice that there are things on my mind, or there are events, or like whatever. It's just different now, you know? I first went into university studying political science, and that was my first mistake. I mean, I've now realized that's very much not for me. I've switched things around. Something that's always been meaningful to me is education. So I'm hoping to pursue something along the lines of educate. But, you know, going into these things, you sit down with your parents, you know, depending on your situation, and they're like, regardless of what you do, like, you know, hey, follow your dreams, do what you want. I mean, I'm really into music. I've been producing music for a while, but you need a job to put food on the table. You need to be able to take care of yourself. And the only other option I can think of is I want to be a teacher, but that's not Is that realistic? Is that going to work out? Is that going to be good? Because with things nowadays, how much more expensive is living going to get? Like, I'm to the point where I don't want to do anything. I sold my old bike. It was a pretty nice mountain bike, all that good stuff. And I went and I saved up and I got like an electric assisted bike so that I didn't have to spend money on gas. And it's been wonderful. It's been awesome. It's helped me to get out more. It's helped me to do more things because I don't live I don't live super close to work. So I do have to go a bit. It's about a 20-minute bike ride, but whatever. That's fine. I don't mind it. It gets me to breathe. It gets me to go outside, whatever. But where am I going with this? The point I'm making is like things feel different. Things have changed. Things feel more uneasy and unpredictable. And I'm just not okay with this. I'm not, and I know you feel the same way. This is not how it always has been. Things were different. All the other older generations like to comment that's like, you got to do this, this, and this, and this. And the older generations like to point out, or they think in their little world, I mean, I'm in my own little world, whatever, but they think that in their own little world that if you follow these simple steps, then you'll find success. But that's not how it is anymore. It hasn't been like that for a long while. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. I feel like times are changing, but I feel so left behind. I feel like I'm still like 3 years back. And maybe that's because of COVID. But it's really lonely, None of my friends can afford to go out. None of us have, that third place. I'll call back to all of those other third places, right? It feels like I'm trapped. I'm getting a degree in something that I know for a fact will not pay me well, if I can even get a job with. I currently have a job that barely pays anything. I can't find another job on top of that so I can keep fundings. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to go through school without taking debt. And then when the time comes to repay that, I don't know how I'm supposed to ever repay that. Like, this is a trap, it feels like. I don't know where I'm going with it, what I'm doing. I don't know what the point of even trying is, right? I try not to be a nihilist, but like, what's the point? And so I guess I'm making this video because I want to talk about it. I know that there are other people out there with similar situations. I've talked to people myself. I work with them. But what's the point? I'm tired. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, this is your sign to turn off whatever on YouTube. Yeah, turn it off. Turn off your computer, turn off your phone, turn off your TV. I don't know what you're watching on, if you're watching. Turn it off. Go outside and sit and do nothing. That's not a joke. Don't read a book. Don't do any. No, go sit and do nothing. Try it. I dare you. I dare you. Yeah, I think that's all. There we go. There's my mental brain vomit. Take care.